CSS gives you considerable control over the look of an element's borders. This page, which you can find in this lesson's folder in the Diving Deeper into CSS folder of the course assets, shows the 8 different styles of border available in CSS. If you choose double, groove, inset, outset or ridge, you need to make sure that the border width is reasonably large, otherwise the effect won't be displayed. And you might think that I've chosen different shades of colour for the different sides on inset and outset, but those shades are chosen by the browser. I've actually put the same colour all the way round. Now in this page, each element has the same border on all 4 sides, but you're not limited to that. Let's just open this other page. You can also find a copy of this in the course assets. At the top here, I've given this heading a narrow border at the top, a wide border at the bottom, but no border on either side. And this admittedly inelegant div has got different colours, different styles, and in fact on one side no border at all. This effect here is created by giving a div 0 width, 0 height, but very broad borders. And when different sides have different colour borders, the edge is made into a sort of triangle. So basically you end up with these 4 triangles, and this single triangle down here is created by giving one side a colour green but making the other borders transparent. So with a little imagination you can do all sorts of weird and wonderful things with borders, but let's try something a little bit more practical. Let's go to the Pacific Highway case study, and on the home page I've got this large hero image which is followed by the intro article. But if we go to the next page, there's no hero image. The intro article sort of looks rather lonely. So to make it stand out a bit better, what I plan to do is to give a very thin, subtle border on the top and on the bottom, and then a background colour. So let's get to work in Dreamweaver. There's the intro article in bigsur.html, and I need to find the correct selector, so let's go down. There it is, #intro. And then we need to create the border. So that's the border icon in the properties pane, and here are the border properties. If you want to have the same color all the way round, just select border color. If you want different colors on each side, then set the properties separately. I'm going to set border top color and border bottom color. I know the color that I want, so I'm just going to type it in directly alongside. It'll be #ed_ed_eb, and then the same for border bottom color, #ed_ed_eb. Next, I need to set the width. Again, if it's all going to be the same on every side, you can set border width, otherwise set them individually. Border top, I'm going to make 1 pixel, and the same for border bottom width. And then we need to set the border style, which works exactly the same way. If you want the same on all sides, set border style, otherwise set the individual ones. So border top style will be solid, and border bottom style will also be solid. Now in design view you can't see anything, and that's because of these visual aids. The borders are actually directly underneath the visual aids. So if you go to the view menu, visual aids, then hide all. There's also this keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-I on Windows, Command-Shift-I on a Mac, and it will hide all the visual aids. And there we are, and you can see there's just that very subtle border there and the very subtle border there. So let's give it a background color. That's the background section there, background color. I've chosen the color, I'll just type it in directly. It's #FCFBF7. It's a very subtle difference, but I think that it does actually make that intro article stand out a bit better. I also want to add a little top border to the footer. So let's find the footer. There it is down at the bottom. And what I want to do is border, and the border color on the top will be the same, #ed_ed_eb. Border width on the top will be 1 pixel, and the border top style will be solid. And there is that tiny little border that has appeared. So with borders you can set the colour, the width and the style independently for each side. There's a choice of 8 different styles, but the default is none, so you must always set a style for a border to become visible.